Hey wizards, how's it going? How are you all doing? I'm good. I'm great. I'm super excited because today photos came out, images from yesterday's filming. As you saw in the video we posted here yesterday, now the images are out, the professional photos taken by photographers, which were sold to the newspapers. I mentioned in the video that you could hear photos being taken and that photos would appear. So the photos came out and I want to talk a little about each one of them because a lot of photos were released. There's a lot for us to talk about. So go ahead and like this video right here. If you're a fan of Harry Potter, if you're excited for this series, go ahead and give your like, alright? Look, first, what do I want to talk about here? First, I want to talk about the photos of Harry and Hagrid. Of course, the filming was with them, so photos of them came out. The filming happened with Nick Frost, who is Hagrid, who plays Hagrid, and with his stunt double. I already want to make a correction here because I said it was Martin Bayfield. It seemed to be the same as in the Harry movie and all. It's not him, since a photo without the mask was released today, and you can see it's someone else. The name of Nick Frost's stunt double for Hagrid is Anthony Wallen, and man, he's recognized as the tallest police officer in the United Kingdom. He's a police officer. See how tiny a regular person looks beside him. He must be the son of a giantess. No other explanation. Look at this guy. He's 7'3", 4 inches taller than Martin Bayfield. How can anyone be that tall? You know what I mean? Look, Hagrid's mask has 2 holes here. I don't know if they're 2 holes or 2 dots, but they look like 2 holes. So the stuntman can see from the inside, okay? Many people asked, did they put a spot on Hagrid's face? That's not it. They're holes so the stuntman can see. They use a stuntman because, you know, Nick Frost, he's short. Rob Coltrane was too. Rob Coltrane was. Nick Frost is even shorter, right? Rob Coltrane, at 6'1", was still considered tall. But they use a stuntman because, man, it's impressive the magic they do in production, man, it's impressive. Hold on, Thigo, I'm recording my son. It's impressive how they do it, with angles, with framing. It really makes him look giant. For the wide-angle scenes, there's the body double. Harry, look at Harry's little outfit, man. The pants could fit 2 of him inside. Baggy clothes, he's got a little backpack. We saw he had a little backpack yesterday, right? And I like it. Look, in this photo you can see that Harry is doing a little jog, picking up the pace a bit. Because in the book itself, it says that he had to walk faster to keep up with Hagrid's pace. Harry's characterization is really cool. He's wearing muggle clothes here, right? Completely. Clothes that used to belong to Dudley. You can see the loose blue shirt. He's wearing a jacket that's green, blue, and yellow. And it looks like it's made of that kind of fabric, those waterproof fabrics. It seems to be that type of material, like that nylon, right? The round-rimmed glasses, the hair kind of messy, and classic colored jeans, right? Kind of dirty. You can see there are some dirty spots. The clothes are kind of really torn. Really old, you know? They really looked worn out, used. Because, right? His clothes were Duda's hand-me-downs. And then we have photos of Dominic McLaughlin, right? Next to the stunt double. And the size difference is just absurd. I mean, you could practically fit half a Harry. To complete Hagrid, he must be, no kidding, about 2.5 meters tall here. Right, with the clothes, with all the accessories, Hagrid's outfit. He's wearing this big canvas coat, and underneath, he's got another overcoat that goes down to about his knees. And full of buttons, full of burgundy buttons. A striped shirt, also looking dirty. Pants that seem to be made of velvet, creased, and really big boots. So Hagrid is also wearing gloves with the fingers sticking out. And here there's another picture of the stunt double, right? In the back, the muggles, the extras. Why mention this? Setting. The extras in the back, wearing clothes from the 90s, those shoulder pads that were really common at that time, right? Some colorful clothes here. Look, in this photo, Nick Frost is already dressed as Hagrid. And then, this photo shows the umbrella in the inside pocket of his clothes. And I really wanted to draw attention to a detail that I really liked, which is this writing inside, here, on the inner part of the clothes. Because it looks like he took a tarp and sewed the clothes himself, you know? He made the clothes himself, which are patches of tarp that he took and just put together, you know? Made it right there. It's cool to see that. It has a mark, like writing, a tarp brand. And then, in the pocket, there's the wand, the umbrella. We already have a small difference from the umbrella in the movies, which was expected, right? I've said it here many times. I think everything will change. In fact, I support changing it to be different, to have another design, because they're different things, right? Even if it looks the same, let it be different. The wand, the umbrella handle, it has a hook shape, while the one in the movie was different. It was straight. And here I can't see in detail. The quality of the photo doesn't allow me to see those details.
If the umbrella has some light flowers, since Hagrid's is pink and flowery, right?
The book mentions it, but you don't see it here, though you can see that he doesn't.
I don't know if it's dirt, but it's not such a predominant pink. It's not pink. Wait, sorry. The pink is predominant.
But it has some lighter spots. I don't know if it's wear or if the umbrella fabric is faded. Maybe it's intentional, right? It could be some lighter flowers, maybe. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Hagrid's beard. There you can see there's a difference from the photo that came out of Hagrid. Eric, post the photo of Hagrid dressed up for the first time. The one from the official Harry Potter profile. It was slightly different. Why? That was a costume test. Here it's for real during the recording. So you see that Nick Frost, does he look fuller? Some people said, wow, he's really thin, right? He gave off a really skinny impression, didn't he? He's a bit chubbier here. Look, you can see that he's fuller. He's more robust. And his beard is really thick. This image shows him crossing the street with the umbrella in his inside pocket. And here is the stunt double. You can see his inner overcoat better. It's knitted, it's made of knit. I'm not sure if Hagrid's is really Nick Frost. It seems different, okay? It seems different, so we'll keep an eye out. If there are mistakes or continuity errors in the series, we can catch and discuss them later, like in movies. But it's connected. You can see he's got something on his neck here, which is the structure that fits the mask there. See? The guy looks totally different without the mask. He's just a big person, but with the mask on, it's not Martin Bayfield. I thought it was, but it's not. Cool. What other photos came out here? There was a very interesting photo. Very interesting.
There's Harry and Hagrid next to a bookstore. You can see there are book carts right beside them.
And next to a store, in a dark blue, kind of an oil blue color.
And this establishment, according to the other images that came out, is a bar called the Blue Maid, which they're using.
Now, it's not known if this bar will be the Leaky Cauldron, if the outside will be the facade of the Leaky Cauldron, or if they're just using it there. Kind of. Why is that? According to the information that was given, someone who was there told Diego that they were kind of using it as the production headquarters, with equipment and everything.
Maybe it's both. They used the front and people were inside, right?
Of the production. Indoors, I believe they actually film in a studio. The indoor environment, they usually do it in a studio. They recreate it in a studio. But there's a detail here that stands out. It's cool here, which is the following. I don't think it's going to be. I think so, okay? It's just a big guess. I think the entrance to the Leaky Cauldron is in this alley. You can see there's kind of a gap here. Well, where Harry is, there's kind of a gap. I think the entrance to the Leaky Cauldron is going to be in that gap. In that gap. That would be awesome. It would be really cool. In this gap here, like in this little alley here. Not exactly in this, the Blue Maid, right?
Because clearly, the Blue Maid is the real name of the bar in the series. If it is, they won't let the name be different, right?
There's also this picture of Nick Frost, where the angle is closer on him, and he's looking down. It's probably the scene that, judging by the angle of the microphone and everyone's position in the production, it's that scene where they're standing in front. Right there, the possible entrance to the Leaky Cauldron.
In the first photo, there's a stunt double, and in this one, it's from a different angle with Nick Frost.
Man, his expression there, it's like an expression of caution, you know? You can notice an expression of caution. He's looking at Harry like that. It's something. A certain tenderness that Hagrid has, that he, with that big beard, that huge, giant body, he still manages to show that tenderness, right?
He's all size, but he has a huge heart. And this photo is showing the way he looks at Harry, right?
Probably explaining something, because Harry asks, how are we going to find all of this, right? Like, and there he is. His little face really shows that.
Nick Frost's expression. Wow, I'm really excited.
Now, something really cool, really cool. Look at the attention to detail. We've already talked about the cars set in that era. The costumes set in that era.
But the details go beyond that. The art direction takes care of these things. And look how cool this is.
There are some things stuck to the pole, and there's a Nirvana poster from the band Nirvana, specifically from the 1991 tour they did in the United Kingdom when they went through Bristol, London, and Wolverhampton, which was in November of that year, 1991.
And that's when the new album would be released on September 23rd.
And this day here is July. It's July 31st, this day in the history of 1991. Look at the attention to detail from the production. Even on the pole over there, there's a band promotion stuck on it. Man, that's awesome, awesome, awesome.
And there are also the books over there, as I mentioned, about the Leaky Cauldron. It said in the books that it's between a record store and a shop.
A secondhand bookstore, a bookshop, a used bookstore. So, man, look how cool. Probably, possibly, here we're seeing Hagrid and Harry at the entrance of the Leaky Cauldron, whether it's in this alley here or that bar behind them over there. The bar's door looks somewhat aged at the top, but I don't think it is. Do you know why? I think that, could it be? It could be the entrance, but why do I suspect it's in the alley? And why do I suspect that this isn't the entrance? Because in the book, they say that people barely notice the entrance. And come on, here it's a door you can clearly see. People barely notice the entrance. And it says that Harry even suspected that only he and Hagrid could see it, could see that entrance.
Maybe this entrance only appears here for wizards, and it actually looks like an entrance.
Or maybe it's in the alley. If it's right here, that would be crazy. Look, this little alley next to it, man. These images that came out are amazing. Today, the most professional images came out, and I was really happy about it. I was really happy, really happy. And then new footage came out, also professional, from another angle. That scene of Harry and Hagrid crossing the street and going into an alley there. And oh, one detail. This, the Blue Maid, it's going to be closed until the 19th. It's closed until tomorrow, right?
On the bar's own Instagram, they said they'll be closed until the 19th.
And the bar's windows. That's a new detail that wasn't there before.
The bar's windows were covered with newspapers, with things like collages.
There, everything is kind of stuck together. It gives the impression of something old, like things were pasted one on top of the other, you know? Behind the stuntman's photo, you can see everything stuck there, covering the window.
That's a sign that it might really be the Leaky Cauldron and these windows are closed. It's awesome to see. I love it.
So, you know, for those who followed the Magic of Cinema segment here at the Leaky Cauldron, you know, I love the behind-the-scenes stuff. That attention to detail, like a band poster on a pole, stands out when you're watching, right? Like, the viewer who's just watching there, not really paying attention.
They don't notice, but production and art direction add it for attentive viewers to catch and comment on.
Man, look how crazy that is. It's really set in the environment, right? Look, it takes place in this year. There's no reason to set a series in 1991 and include someone with an iPhone, right? That was obviously an intentional exaggeration, right? I mean, that would be absurd. But just so you understand, man, today these images came out, they were published in The Sun, right? Photographers take pictures and sell them to newspapers and tabloids because they're smart, right? Another image appeared, and there's also a picture of Nick Frost. Nick Frost is wearing a ring, kind of looks like it's made of wood. On his right hand, on his ring finger. Another image was released showing the cars, 2 crew members holding a blue screen, and Nick Frost crossing the street. Man, this is wild. Look how big Nick Frost is. He's shorter than the crew members, he's smaller. Now, if you see the stunt double next to the crew members, he's much bigger. Look at the difference, man. This is really cool. This is awesome. In this picture of Nick Frost, he's like Hagrid. It's that scene where the car comes and Hagrid complains like, I wouldn't be surprised if Hagrid said, "Hey, I'm walking here," making a reference to Taxi Driver. That would be really cool.
Well, those were the photos that came out. The double-decker bus from that time, right? Also a classic from London, right?
Today's buses are more modern in design, but this place still reflects that earlier era well.
One thing I really liked about Hagrid's costume is how many pockets it has and their size. Huge, you know? The pockets are huge. Look at the image of the Blue Maid with the windows covered. It wasn't like that. They changed it here. It wasn't like that. There are some stickers there, really from that time and all.
See the Nirvana poster there? You get it, right? The stunt double has to be wearing exactly the same costume, right? Otherwise, there's a difference. The stunt double wears the ring and everything. This mask here, from the images. Let me take a look to see if I'm not crazy.
But this mask, it doesn't seem to be mechatronic. Mechatronic, not animatronic. It doesn't seem to be animatronic.
The mask he's wearing. Maybe at another time, they'll use the animatronic mask. But at this moment here, since maybe they won't focus on his face, and his face will be Nick Frost's, the moving mask may not be needed here, but perhaps in another scene. In this scene where he's crossing, you can see he doesn't blink or move his mouth. It's a very still mask. When he turns to speak to Harry, his face doesn't move.
That will be replaced by the angle with Nick Frost filming. Man, for me, Dominique is really good as Harry. Really good as Harry.
He's very expressive. You can tell from the photos. You know, like, he has a cool expression there. Like, you can tell just by looking at the picture. Like, it's a moment where he's expressing curiosity. That's cool. That's really awesome.
Here, look. The shot they filmed in a wide angle of Hagrid doing this when the car takes off, it's from the same photo right there.
In this photo here, but it's Nick Frost here, with the taxi. Yeah, the taxi right there. See how the guys are holding the blue fabric over there and all? And then there's the scene with the stunt double, the filming with the stunt double, and the photo with Nick Frost. Imagine Dominique McLaughlin doing it twice for some scenes, while Nick Frost does it alone here, right? Sometimes he does it twice, but here, Nick Frost is alone. He's just doing the scene Dominique did earlier with the stunt double. That's all for today, my wizards. Any updates on the series? I have an important message. I've seen many complaints like this.
Leaks keep happening, and when the series is released, it might lose its charm. I don't want to keep seeing leaks.
I get why some don't like it, don't want to keep seeing it, prefer to wait, see official material, or just watch it in the series. I completely understand that, and I really respect it. But look, this isn't anything new. This already happened in the movies. I'll just speak for myself.
Personally, I love it. I get excited. It doesn't take away my excitement at all. And of course, I'm speaking for myself. I know people are.
Each person is different. Everyone thinks in their own way. Everyone feels in their own way. And that's okay.
But it's kind of annoying because some people keep saying things like, oh.
Wow, that's crap. Stop showing that. I don't know what...
Guys, I won't stop showing it. First, I'm excited as a fan. Second,
The Leaky Cauldron is a Harry Potter channel where I make related contents.
the series behind the scenes is coming out, but I won't discuss it since some avoid spoilers. If you don't want them, just don't watch. And I'm saying this in a really chill way, from the bottom of my heart. I have no problem at all if you don't want to watch, because you don't want spoilers. Like, seriously, no problem at all. I totally understand.
For example, look, since I have a little daughter, I can't go to the movies all the time. I'll give a really simple example. I can't go to the movies all the time.
As often as I used to, every movie that came out in theaters that I wanted to see, I would go watch it. I used to go to the movies almost every week. I can't go with Katarina since she's so little and might disturb others. Are there kids' sessions? Yes, there are.
But I still can't go see it. For example, I missed Fantastic Four in theaters, even though I wanted to.
I don't know. Thunderbolts, which I wanted to see in theaters. I didn't see it. There are a lot of movies I couldn't watch. I just wait for them to come out on streaming. And for me, that's okay.
If someone discusses it and I don't want to watch, I avoid it. If channels I follow mention it and I want to avoid spoilers, I don't watch them.
After I watch it, I check out everything else. It's normal and fine to do that. Please understand. This is just who I am. I'm excited, and it was my job too. I won't stop talking just because someone dislikes spoilers. I know there are still people who...
Everyone already knows about Harry Potter, so saying spoiler is pointless.
But it's in general, right? In general, we're talking about things like costumes, aspects, not the story itself, right? All right, thanks for watching this episode of The Leaky Cauldron. We'll see you in the next episode. I'm so excited the possible entrance to the Leaky Cauldron appeared right there. I'm so happy, I even choked up.